Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a short and sweet video talking about how to differentiate or discern between real professionals in the beauty industry and people that are self-taught or amateurs, for lack of a better word, someone that doesn't have any specific background and is just doing it as a hobby. So first I wanted to explain the difference between looking for someone who has a professional background and someone who has talent. We're not talking about talent here. Talent is relative. What I find as talent could be something that you don't agree with. My perception of what it could be anything. It could be art, a masterpiece. It could be a face of makeup. It could be anything really. What I find as talent could be very different from yours. And that's okay. And so we're not talking about talent here. We're talking about specifically someone who has a professional background. So you understand the advice and the knowledge that they share is based on their credentials, their knowledge base, from a professional standpoint. So that's really important, especially these days where YouTube, especially the beauty community, is huge. And people that don't necessarily have any experience with makeup, even everyday people, they're looking to YouTube for a lot of information. They're looking all over the internet, on Instagram as well. And it's really important to be able to discern the difference. So one area I wanted to touch on was direct sales. They're almost daily, weekly. There's a new company coming out, a new direct sales company. The beauty industry is just booming with direct sales. And for each company, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of consultants out there, reps for the brand. Now, most of all of these companies are hiring who? Moms, college age students, retirees, people with a day job and they just want a little pocket money on the side. Whatever the case, excuse me. Whatever the case is, that's their main target for their consultants for that company. And that's a great thing. And for a lot of women, that's their vacation money or their spending money or their income. And depending on how great they can do, it can be fantastic for them. Now, like I said, the majority of them, though, are not professionals in the industry that they represent, the brand that they represent. For example, Avon or Mary Kay or Beauty Counter or Limelight or Unique. These are just a few brands, and there are many others. Let me tell you, there are many. Okay, and so these direct sales women. Now, some do have a skincare background, or they do have a cosmetology background, or whatever. But usually, they will share that with you. If they don't, or sometimes you'll know them in person and you'll know that they have a day job, or that what their background is, you're more familiar with that, and that's okay. They might just be showing you what the company offers and what they like, but that's what it is. That's the extent of what it is. Yes, most of these companies offer training, and they offer there are Facebook groups and meetings that they have to share information and share tips and tricks for their company and their product line. And that's a great thing. But again, it's just like sales. That's, you're learning product knowledge and you're sharing what you like and you're finding different ways to get people to buy them. And you yourself are customer first and foremost, and then you're trying to get people to either join under you or to purchase products from you so that you can get a commission. And those people, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you want to know that these people are speaking from which perspective. Okay, are they sharing something that they think is beneficial for you, or are they speaking as just another girlfriend? I'm sharing you, I'm showing you what, what mascara I'm using today. And that's okay, but you need to know where this person is coming from. So that's direct sales. And like I said, there are some people who do have a industry background, but they will usually disclose that, or you'll know about them and their background, and that helps a little bit. Because if, for example, they're a makeup artist, then okay, if you're using these products, and you can, more appropriately recommend them for me, then that makes me feel a little bit better. There is a difference in regards to that. Another area is YouTube. Now, YouTube is huge, from young girls all the way up to women in their 70s and 80s. And a lot of them are amateurs or they're self-taught. Now, there's a difference. I call amateurs basically someone who is doing it as a hobby. Someone who maybe has a day job, or they're a mom at home and they just like makeup or they like skincare, and they're just showing you what they're using, okay, and giving their recommendations based on what they like or they didn't like. That's it, okay? That's what I call an amateur, just for the sake of this video. Someone who is self-taught can be a makeup artist. A lot of freelance makeup artists are self-taught. That doesn't mean, like I said, that they are not talented. Some are very talented. I know some huge makeup artists that are self-taught. They never went to school. They don't have a certificate, and their practices may or may not be questionable. For example, they've never completed a state board exam. So their nails are extremely long. They have bacteria under those nails. They have stiletto nails. So they are touching your face and or maybe potentially poking you in the eye. Or, performing a, makeup tutorial on Instagram or something like that. And they've got long nails like you wouldn't believe. That person is not a professional. That person is self-taught. They could be very talented, but there is a difference. So I want you to discern where they're coming from. Another thing about self-taught makeup artists, especially on Instagram and YouTube, is that just because they work on a celebrity or celebrities and that person is really famous, and that's how the makeup artist got on the map to begin with, doesn't mean they're a professional. Doesn't mean they know what they're talking about when it comes to skincare, formulations, makeup, that sort of thing. It's an experience thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a professional. So I want you to pay attention to that when you see things. I know when I look at someone who's doing an eyebrow wax on an Instagram video and she's got hands all over that person's face, and I can tell, there's a reason why some people break out like crazy after an eyebrow wax. Hands with oils and bacteria underneath the nails and on your hands and all over your client's face with your, just long stiletto nails all over the place. And that tells me that your aesthetics are more important than your clients. That also tells me that you may or may not have completed and or failed a state board exam. Hopefully, if you're waxing for your state, you have completed your exam and you're following the rules of your state for your licensure. But when I see that, now here's the thing: when we go for an interview, how we present ourselves in an interview is different from how we are on the job, right? That's just inevitable. We want to always put our best self forward for an interview, and then some people get a little lazy on the job. Well, the beauty industry is the same. Sometimes when people are getting their certifications, or they're in school, getting their knowledge and their credentials, they respond accordingly, and then as soon as they're on the job, they do what they want, or as soon as they open up their own place, they do what they want. To me, your clients always come first. So as long as it benefits your client and it's to your client's benefit and you're presenting yourself in the most professional way possible, then fine. But that tells me right away your priorities aren't right. And that's just my perception. That's my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I love nails. Always had nails. Acrylics, silk, gels, French tips, you name it, I did it. I love nails. I think they're beautiful. Some can look a little trashy, but I love nails in general. And now these days, there's the fad of stiletto nails and things like that. So they can be really pretty, but on other people. In my work, I can't have nails like that. A client doesn't like the feel of someone's nail poking into their skin. And the potential for that is huge when you're working on someone's face. Never mind the fact that there's bacteria under your nails, and it's, you're dealing with products and dipping your hand into products, and you just want to make sure you are maintaining the most sanitary practices possible. And I just want you to make sure that when you're watching Instagram and YouTube, you pay attention to those types of things. Like I said, there are the amateurs, there are the self-taught makeup artists, and then there are those professionals, that have a skincare background or a makeup artistry background. They've gone to school, they know the rules and regulations, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and then they've just added on those skills, constant research, and I'm one of them. My background was in skincare specifically, skincare, makeup artistry, and body treatments, and waxing, of course. And that's my area of expertise. If someone asks me to do a video on hair, I wouldn't do it. I know some in terms of, my experiences working in the beauty industry and salons and spas, what I've done myself, but that's not my area of, my main knowledge base and my expertise. So I wouldn't begin to tell you. And again, even, recommending to a girlfriend or my cousin or my aunt, I can offer, a general idea, but I would point them towards a true professional because, for example, hair is very different than me suggesting a lip color that doesn't work for you. No harm done, you wipe the lipstick off, but changing your hair color is kind of a big thing. It takes more to reverse that. So that's important to remember when it comes to online and social media expertise, if you will. Another thing I wanted to address is understanding the difference between what someone is offering you in terms of suggestions, recommendations, versus a professional doing so. Many of us are on Facebook, on, talking to a girlfriend, or on the phone, at the park with the kids, whatever scenario we're in, and someone might recommend something. Well, chances are they're recommending what they like and what's worked for them, which is fantastic. But there is no difference between that person recommending and someone on YouTube or someone on, a post you saw on Instagram. They're all the same. And that means that person is sharing what they like and what worked for them. It has nothing to do with you. They're not conducting a skin analysis. They're not conducting a consultation. They're not asking you about your lifestyle, your skin type, your skin condition, and your needs. They're also not considering your budget. They're talking about what they like and what they paid for. So all of these considered, it's really important to pay attention, number one, when you ask for advice, or number two, when it's given freely. Many times, many times, I've seen, especially on Facebook, someone will post a question. It's a valid question. However, me or 20 other people recommending a foundation for you is sort of what do they call it? A fool's errand. There's no way that you're going to be able to try every single one of those suggestions you received. Many of them, I would say maybe 40 or 50% of them, are direct sales companies. Again, they're trying to get you as a customer. Not every brand is going to suit every person. Not every formulation within a brand is going to suit every person. Some products are better than others depending on skin type and skin condition, price point. All of these things need to be considered. So when someone posts something like that, I just